Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this fun and exciting episode. Today, I have a great story for you, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Improve your English through this interesting story. Before we start, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Get ready. Let's start.
The story of Donald Trump, the President of America. Chapter 1: Childhood and Family. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City. He was the fourth of 5 children in his family. His father, Fred Trump, was a well-known businessman who built homes and apartment buildings in New York. His mother, Mary Ann MacLeod Trump, was originally from Scotland. She came to America in 1930 and married Fred soon after. Mary was a housewife and took care of the children at home. Donald's older siblings were Mary Ann, Fred Jr., and Elizabeth. His younger brother was Robert. Donald grew up in a large, strong family. His father was strict and hardworking. He expected his children to be strong, smart, and successful. Fred Trump believed in discipline, responsibility, and hard work. These values were taught to Donald from a young age. As a child, Donald was different from his siblings. He was energetic, confident, and sometimes aggressive. He liked to win and hated to lose. Teachers and neighbors said he was smart, but also a bit wild. He often got into trouble for not following rules or for speaking too much. His parents noticed that he was not easy to control. At the age of 13, his parents made a big decision. They sent Donald to the New York Military Academy, a private boarding school with strict rules and military-style discipline. This school was known for turning troubled boys into strong young men. At first, Donald did not like the strict life. He missed home and did not enjoy following orders. But over time, he began to change. Military school taught Donald how to be organized, focused, and disciplined. He wore a uniform, woke up early, and followed a schedule every day. He learned how to be a leader. He became captain of the baseball team and earned respect from teachers and classmates. The school helped him turn his energy into something positive. During his teenage years, Donald started to show signs of being competitive and ambitious. He always wanted to be the best in everything: sports, school, and leadership. He enjoyed attention and liked being in the spotlight. He did not want to be like other students. He wanted to stand out. Donald also had a strong relationship with his father. Fred Trump often took him to construction sites and business meetings. He taught Donald how to look at buildings, how to understand money, and how to deal with workers and clients. Donald paid attention. He was learning the business world from a very young age. He admired his father's success and wanted to be even more successful one day. At home, the Trump family lived in a big house in Queens. They were not like most families in the neighborhood. They had money, but they also worked very hard. Fred Trump was strict, but he also gave opportunities to his children, especially the boys. He believed that men should be strong leaders and that women should stay at home. This way of thinking shaped Donald's views later in life. Donald did not have a close relationship with his older brother, Fred Jr. Fred Jr. was kind and gentle, very different from Donald. He wanted to become a pilot and was not interested in business. Their father was not happy with Fred Jr.'s choices and focused more on Donald. Donald later said that his brother's life taught him a lesson, that you must be tough in life or you will lose. As Donald grew older, he began to think about the future. He wanted to go to college, start a business, and make a name for himself. He was not just dreaming, he had a plan. He believed he could be great. And most of all, he wanted to make his father proud. By the time Donald finished high school at the military academy, he was more focused, more confident, and more ready than ever to enter the real world. He had learned discipline, leadership, and business basics. He was not the same wild boy from Queens. He was now a young man with big goals. This was just the beginning of Donald Trump's journey. The boy who once caused trouble in school was now ready to build his future, one that would soon become much bigger than anyone could imagine. Chapter 2: Early Business Life. After finishing military school, Donald Trump went to college. First, he studied at Fordham University in New York. But after 2 years, he transferred to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. Wharton was one of the best business schools in the United States. Donald wanted to learn more about real estate, money, and business. He studied hard, but he also continued to think big. Even in college, Donald was not like other students. While many of them just wanted good grades, Donald wanted success in the real world. He talked to people in business, read books about famous businessmen, and made plans for his future. He believed he could become very rich and very powerful. After graduating in 1968, Donald joined his father's real estate business. The company was called Elizabeth Trump and Son. Fred Trump had built thousands of low-cost homes and apartments in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. His business was strong and safe. Fred believed in slow, steady growth. But Donald was different. He didn't want to stay small. He wanted to go into Manhattan, the heart of New York City. He believed that the big deals, big buildings, and big money were there. Fred didn't like the idea. He thought Manhattan was risky and full of problems. But Donald wanted to take that risk. He wanted to make his own name, not just work in his father's shadow. In the 1970s, New York City was in trouble. The city had money problems. Many buildings were empty and old. But Donald saw an opportunity. He believed he could buy cheap buildings, fix them, and turn them into something great. One of his first big projects was the Commodore Hotel. The hotel was old and losing money. But Donald had a vision. He wanted to rebuild it and make it a luxury hotel. He made a smart deal with the city government, got tax breaks, and found a partner, the Hyatt hotel chain. Together, they turned the old hotel into the Grand Hyatt New York. This project made Donald famous in the business world. He showed that he could take a failing building and turn it into a success. Newspapers started writing about him. People began to see him not just as Fred Trump's son, but as a new and bold businessman in Manhattan. After that, Donald wanted something even bigger. He started building Trump Tower, a tall, glass skyscraper on Fifth Avenue. This building was special. It had luxury apartments, expensive shops, and even a waterfall inside. It became a symbol of wealth and power. Many rich and famous people wanted to live there. Trump Tower made Donald Trump a star. Donald used his name as a brand. He put his name, Trump, on everything: buildings, casinos, hotels, and even airplanes. He believed that the Trump name meant success, style, and luxury. He used it to sell more and build more. But his road was not always easy. He often borrowed large amounts of money. Some people said he was taking too many risks. Others said he was too focused on his image. But Donald didn't care. He believed in himself. He believed that confidence was more important than fear. During the 1980s, Donald became a public figure. He was often on TV and in magazines. He enjoyed attention and wanted to be seen as a winner. He wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, which became a bestseller. In the book, he shared his ideas about business, confidence, and success. Many young people looked up to him and wanted to be like him. Donald's style was bold. He spoke directly. He didn't like small talk. He wanted to get things done. He also liked to be in control of every detail, from the color of the carpets to the design of the signs. He believed that success came from hard work, focus, and thinking big. At the same time, Donald also started to dream about politics. He gave interviews where he talked about America's problems. He said the country needed stronger leadership, better deals, and more confidence. But in the 1980s, politics was not his main focus. Business was still his game. By the end of the 1980s, Donald Trump had become one of the most famous businessmen in America. He had hotels, casinos, golf courses, and big buildings. He had power, money, and fame. But this success also brought new problems, big loans, high costs, and a changing economy. Still, Donald Trump was not afraid. He believed in bold moves and big ideas. He was just getting started. Chapter 3: Crisis and Comeback. By the late 1980s, Donald Trump was rich, famous, and powerful. He owned tall buildings, luxury hotels, casinos, and even a big airline. People saw him as a symbol of success. He was on magazine covers and TV shows. Everyone knew the name Trump. But behind the scenes, trouble was coming. Donald had borrowed a lot of money from banks to build his projects. He thought the money would keep coming and the economy would stay strong. But in the early 1990s, things changed. The economy got worse. People stopped spending money. The value of buildings dropped. Many businesses had problems, including Trump's. His casinos in Atlantic City were not making enough money. His airline was losing money. The interest on his loans was very high. He had more than $900 million in personal debt, a huge amount. Some people said Donald Trump was finished. News reports called it the Trump collapse. But Donald did not give up. He went to the banks and made new deals. He promised to pay back the money, but asked for more time. He sold some of his businesses and properties. He cut costs. He focused on saving the most important things, like Trump Tower and a few hotels. He stopped trying to grow and started trying to survive. During this time, Donald learned an important lesson. You must protect your name. Even when his businesses were in trouble, he tried to keep his image strong. He continued to act confident in public. He smiled on TV and said things would get better. Some people laughed at him, but others believed him. And slowly, Donald began to come back. In the mid-1990s, the economy improved. Donald made smarter business choices. He focused more on branding, using the Trump name to make money. Instead of building everything himself, he started licensing his name. For example, he let other companies build hotels and put the Trump name on them. He got paid without taking big risks. He also returned to the media. In 2004, he started a TV show called The Apprentice. In the show, people competed to get a job with Trump. He sat at a big table, asked them questions, and at the end of each episode, he said his famous line, "You're fired." The show became very popular. It made him famous again, not just as a businessman, but also as a celebrity. Many people watched The Apprentice and said, "Wow, this man is strong and smart." The show made Trump's brand even bigger. Now, more companies wanted to work with him. They used his name on buildings, clothes, and even water bottles. The Trump name became a business itself. At the same time, Donald wrote more books about success. He gave speeches, did interviews, and talked about big ideas. He said America needed stronger leaders. He said the country was weak and needed someone who could make big deals again. Many people laughed when he talked about becoming president. They thought he was just joking, but he was serious. Even though Donald Trump had made mistakes in the past, he always came back. He said that failure was not the end, it was just a part of the journey. He believed in himself, even when others did not. Some people loved him for that. Others thought he was arrogant, but no one could ignore him. By the end of the 2000s, Trump had rebuilt his name and his wealth. He wasn't just a businessman anymore. He was a brand, a TV star, and a voice in American culture. He had survived one of the biggest business crises in America, and now he was ready for something even bigger. Chapter 4: From TV Star to Political Voice. After his comeback in the 1990s and early 2000s, Donald Trump became more than just a businessman. He became a TV star and a public figure. His show, The Apprentice, was watched by millions of people in America and other countries. People saw him as a strong leader who could make big decisions. He became known for his famous line, "You're fired." The success of the show gave Trump a new kind of power, influence. He started speaking more about big problems in America. He talked about the economy, jobs, trade, and immigration. Many people listened, and some agreed with him. Trump was not a politician, but he sounded like one. He said things that many people were thinking but were afraid to say. He spoke in a simple, direct way. He said America was losing its strength, and it needed someone tough to lead again. He said other countries were taking advantage of the U.S. and that the government was full of weak leaders. This kind of talk made headlines. News shows started inviting him to speak. He gave interviews on TV and radio. He talked about becoming president, not once, but many times over the years. In 2011, people began to take him more seriously. He asked questions about President Barack Obama's birth certificate, which caused a lot of attention and controversy. Some people were angry. Others were excited. Trump knew how to stay in the spotlight. At the same time, he continued his business life. He opened more Trump hotels and golf courses around the world. But more and more, he was focusing on politics. He said America needed to win again. He talked about making America great again, a phrase that would later become very famous. In 2015, everything changed. On June 16, 2015, Donald Trump walked down an escalator at Trump Tower in New York City. There, he announced that he was running for President of the United States. People were shocked. Some thought it was a joke. Others thought it was just a way to get more attention. But Trump was serious. In his speech, he talked about problems in the country. He said the economy was broken. He said other countries, like China and Mexico, were taking American jobs. He also said strong things about immigration, things that many people found controversial. But again, Trump said what others were afraid to say. His speech made news around the world. Some people were angry. Some were excited. But everyone was talking about Donald Trump. Soon, he started going to rallies all across the country. Thousands of people came to hear him speak. He didn't talk like a normal politician. He didn't use big or complicated words. He spoke simply and clearly. He used jokes, stories, and bold promises. He said he would build a wall on the border with Mexico. He said he would create jobs, stop bad trade deals, and make America respected again. At the start, many experts and politicians laughed at him. They said he had no chance to win. But Trump did not care. He kept going. He used social media, especially Twitter, to talk directly to people. He didn't need newspapers or TV news. He could speak for himself. People who supported him said he was honest, strong, and different. They liked that he was not part of the government. They believed he would fight for the forgotten people, Americans who felt left behind. They liked that he had built businesses and made money. They thought maybe he could fix the country, too. By the middle of 2016, Trump had surprised everyone. He won the Republican Party's nomination for president. Now, he was going to face Hillary Clinton, a former First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State. The campaign was full of drama. Trump said Clinton was part of a broken system. He called her Crooked Hillary. Clinton said Trump was dangerous and unqualified. There were many debates, news stories, and strong opinions. The whole world was watching. Many polls showed Hillary Clinton would win. But on November 8th, 2016, something unexpected happened. Donald Trump won the election. He became the 45th president of the United States. People were shocked. His supporters celebrated. His critics were surprised and worried. But Donald Trump had done it. The businessman with no political experience had won the most powerful job in the world. He had used his name, his voice, and his message to speak to millions of Americans. He had turned from a TV star into a political leader. And now, a new chapter in his life was about to begin: the White House. Chapter 5: Life as President. In January 2017, Donald Trump became the 45th President of the United States. It was a big moment. Many people were surprised. Some were happy, and some were worried. But Trump was ready. He stood in front of the U.S. Capitol and said, "From this day forward, it's going to be only America first." This became his message: America first. He wanted to protect American workers, jobs, and businesses. He said the government had forgotten the people. Now, he would be their voice. 1. First days in office. In his first weeks, Trump started working fast. He signed many papers called executive orders. One big order was to stop people from some Muslim-majority countries from entering the U.S. This was called the travel ban. It caused protests at airports and many legal battles, but Trump said it was needed for safety. He also began to change immigration rules. He wanted fewer people crossing the border from Mexico. He started working to build a wall along the border, something he had promised during the campaign. 2. Taxes and business. In 2017, Trump signed a new tax law. It gave tax cuts to businesses and some workers. Trump said this would help the economy grow and create jobs. Some people agreed, and others said it mostly helped the rich. He also cut government rules for businesses. He said fewer rules would make it easier for companies to grow and hire people. Big companies liked this, but others worried about the environment and workers' rights. 3. Foreign policy. Trump had a very different style in dealing with other countries. He met with North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, in 2018. It was the first time a U.S. president had done this. They talked about peace, but not much changed in the end. Still, it was a historic moment. Trump also had strong views on China. He said China was taking advantage of the U.S. with bad trade deals. He put taxes on Chinese products, and China did the same to U.S. goods. This started a trade war. He also asked other countries in NATO, a military alliance, to pay more money for defense. He said the U.S. was doing too much and others were not helping enough. 4. COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020, a new virus called COVID-19 spread around the world. It came from China and caused a big health crisis. At first, Trump said it was under control, but soon, the virus spread fast in the U.S. Many people got sick. Hospitals were full. The country had to shut down schools, offices, and travel. Trump's response was criticized. Some people said he acted too late or didn't listen to health experts. Others said he tried his best and didn't want to create panic. He also pushed for vaccines and wanted businesses to reopen quickly. The virus affected the whole world, and it also changed the 2020 election. 5. 2020 election and the end of his term. In November 2020, Trump ran for president again. His opponent was Joe Biden, who had been vice president under Barack Obama. The election was very close, but Joe Biden won. Trump said the election was stolen and that there was voter fraud. However, courts found no strong proof of cheating. On January 6, 2021, something serious happened. A large group of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol. They wanted to stop Congress from officially confirming Biden's win. There was violence, and several people died. It shocked the whole country. Many people said Trump had caused the attack with his strong words. He was impeached, charged with a crime by Congress, for a second time, something no other U.S. president had faced twice. But the Senate did not remove him from office. Trump left the White House on January 20th, 2021. He did not attend Biden's inauguration. It was a quiet end to a very loud presidency. 6. Legacy and support. Even after leaving office, Trump still had millions of supporters. Some people saw him as a hero who spoke the truth. Others saw him as a dangerous man who divided the country. He changed American politics. He used social media like no other president. He was not afraid to fight with the media, celebrities, or even other politicians from his own party. Some people loved his style. Others hated it. But no one could ignore him. Donald Trump's time as president was full of big events, big ideas, and big debates. He was not a normal politician, and that's why many people liked or disliked him. But one thing is clear, he made history. Chapter 6, After the White House, and the return in 2025. After Donald Trump left the White House in January 2021, many thought his political career was over. But Trump had a different idea. He didn't stop talking. He didn't disappear. He started preparing for a comeback. 1. Life after the presidency. Trump moved to Florida, to his resort called Mar-a-Lago. There, he continued to meet with supporters, give speeches, and stay active in politics. He spoke at big events and started saying, "Maybe we haven't seen the last of Donald Trump." Many people still supported him. They believed he spoke for them. Some thought the 2020 election was unfair. Trump kept saying, "The system is broken, and I will fix it." Even without being president, Trump had a strong influence. He helped other Republican politicians win local elections. He picked favorites and told his followers who to vote for. Some people called him the kingmaker. 2. Legal battles and challenges. Trump also faced problems. After January 6th, some people blamed him for the attack on the Capitol. He had to go through court cases, investigations, and media pressure. Some of the cases were about taxes. Others were about secret documents or election results. Trump said these were witch hunts, unfair attacks from people who wanted to stop him. He used the problems to make his message stronger. He told his followers, "They're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way." 3. Preparing to run again. In late 2022, Trump officially said, "I am running for president again in 2024." It was a bold move. No other modern president had lost an election and come back 4 years later to win again. Many people didn't think he could do it. But Trump started campaigning hard. He visited many states. He gave long speeches, full of energy and passion. He talked about problems like high prices, border security, and international weakness. He said, "America was strong when I was in charge. I will make it strong again." At first, other Republicans tried to stop him. Some wanted a new leader. But Trump still had the biggest base of supporters. He won the Republican nomination again. 4. The 2024 election. In November 2024, the U.S. had another big election. It was Trump versus Biden, round 2. The campaign was intense. Both men were older now, but both had strong messages. Trump talked about his past successes. He said, "Remember the economy before COVID? That was me." He also said Biden had made the country weaker and less safe. Biden said Trump was dangerous for democracy. He reminded people of January 6th and said Trump should not be trusted again. The country was deeply divided, but millions of people went out to vote. And then, history happened again. 5. Trump wins in 2024. Donald Trump won the 2024 election. In January 2025, he became president for the second time. He was now the only U.S. president since Grover Cleveland in the 1800s to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Some people celebrated. They said he's back. Now America will be strong again. Others were shocked and afraid. Protests began again in some cities. But Trump said, "I will be a president for all Americans." He returned to the White House, older, but still full of energy. 6. A new term, new promises. Trump started his second term by repeating his key message, America first. He pushed for stronger borders, lower taxes, and new trade deals. He said he would stop wars, protect jobs, and end what he called deep state politics. This time, he also wanted to prove himself again. He didn't just want to be loud. He wanted to get results. He brought in new people, made fast decisions, and said, "This time, we're going all the way." The world was watching closely. Trump was back, and he was more determined than ever. Chapter 7. What comes next? Donald Trump is now back in the White House. But what happens next? Will he finish his second term strong? Will his ideas stay even after he leaves? This chapter looks at Trump's future, his effect on America, and how people may remember him. 1. Second term plans. In his second term, 2025 to 2029, Trump wants to move fast. He says, "No more waiting. We will fix America now." Here are some of his plans. Finish the border wall between the U.S. and Mexico. Cut taxes for workers and businesses. Bring factories back from other countries. Make new trade deals that help American workers. End illegal immigration. Stay out of foreign wars. Trump says, America should be strong, rich, and respected again. Many people support these ideas. They feel like Trump is working for them, but others are worried. They think he is too powerful or too extreme. 2. His style of leadership. Trump is not like most presidents. He speaks simply, directly, and sometimes aggressively. Some people say he is bold and honest. Others say he is rude and dangerous. He uses social media again. Even though he was banned before, new platforms and rules have helped him return. He writes messages that millions of people see and share. These messages are often short, but they get attention. Trump doesn't like traditional media. He often says, fake news, when reporters criticize him. Some people love this style. They feel he is a fighter. Others think it divides the country more and more. 3. America under Trump again. America has changed a lot. In his second term, some Americans feel hopeful again. They say, finally, someone hears us. Others feel nervous. They worry about freedom, rights, and democracy. There are protests and support rallies in many cities. People debate, is Trump saving America or hurting it? Economically, some things improve. Jobs come back in some areas. Taxes go down. But other countries react. Some friends feel angry, and some enemies become more careful. 4. Will Trump run again? Trump will be over 80 years old by the end of his second term. By U.S. law, he cannot run for a third term. But many people wonder, will he try to change the rules? Trump hasn't said clearly. Sometimes he jokes, maybe we'll go for 4 more years, or maybe 8. Some people believe he wants to keep power. Others say he will support someone who thinks like him, a Trump 2.0. 5. A movement, not just a man. Even after Trump leaves, many think Trumpism will stay. What is Trumpism? It means putting America first, speaking without fear, fighting political correctness, loving freedom, business, and strong borders. Other politicians now talk like Trump. They dress like him, act like him, and use his slogans like, "Make America Great Again." So, even if Trump leaves office, his ideas may continue for years. 6. How will history remember him? Some people will remember Trump as a hero, a man who fought for the people, a leader who didn't care about the elite, someone who made America proud again. Others will remember him as a danger, a man who divided the country, a president who made lies normal, someone who hurt trust in democracy. Time will tell. Books, movies, and schools will teach about him for many years. His name will be in history, whether people love him or hate him. 7. The final question. Donald Trump has changed the United States. He has changed politics, media, and even how people talk. Now the big question is, what comes next for America? That answer depends on the people, the voters, the leaders, the young generation. Trump's story is still being written, and maybe, one day, another leader like him will rise.
Thank you so much for listening to the story. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Your support means a lot and helps me create more amazing stories for you. See you in the next story.